And good. You're on.
Hey all, we're officially live. So this is our backer stream. Is one of our backer rewards for Chicago Shadows Kickstarter. That was last July. It's already February. I don't know where the time went. It's pretty great. And we are 1 week away from the shoot. So Chicago Shadows trailer is shooting next Friday and Saturday, the 28th and 29th. Here around the Chicago area. And we've got some great stuff. I came from a makeup test that we did this morning for our orc, which I will pull up. I know it's going to be small on the screen, but at least I can share with you some orky rigor goodness. So that's our girl. So we did a full prosthetic and makeup test and make sure she's going to show up on camera well, and we're going to be ready for next week. So keep watching our Twitter for news as we go. I'll be posting more pictures and video from the makeup test, and then I also have a behind the scenes person. So for the shoot itself, we'll have plenty to share with you guys before the release of the trailer. So thank you guys all for coming. I want to introduce everyone, and then we'll talk a little bit more and get started. So why don't we start with you, Aaron?
All right. So I am Aaron Dykstra. I happen to do a bunch of streaming as well, specifically Shadowrun. Also happen to be a demo agent, so you'll probably see me at most of the conventions, at least the big ones. Otherwise, not working on anything too special, just helping out.
Thanks, Stainless Steel. Devil Rat is already rooting for you to kill us all, so that's we're starting off strong, guys. And then Scott, would you go ahead?
Oh, I'm Scott Schletz. I'm one of the writers for the scripts for Chicago Shadows. I also write for Shadowrun. Lots and lots of words, million plus at this point. I have a Patreon. I don't write a whole bunch on it. I'm a little lazy because I'm too busy writing all the books for Shadowrun at the moment. That's me. Cheers.
Definitely check out Scott's Patreon. We just linked to it in one of our Twitter posts, or in our Twitter post is coming. In our newsletter, if you haven't signed up, you should do that. And also for our backer report. So he is the writer of our short fiction pieces too, for the prequels of all the characters that are going to be in the pilot episode. So we just released the Hood prequel.
Hood's off and running.
Yeah, so you can go check it out, and it's got a link to Scott's Patreon. At the end, we're going to release a new short fiction piece every month until the trailer's released, but the very last one is only going to be released on Scott's Patreon. So you should just sign up now, because that's the great thing to do. Support our creators. Tagashi, would you like to go?
Sure. I'm Tagashi Jack. I stream periodically over on Twitch TV. And other than that, I am associated with Shadowrun in the fact that I am one of the Shadowrun Missions Online GMs. I've been running us through the Chicago adventures 1 week at a time, more or less, since November. And I think we have about 1.5 seasons left to go, if you ignore the CMPs. There's way too many of those. I'll never get through them. But yeah, we're halfway through season 7, and it's kicking up.
Awesome. So can people still join if they want to join Shadowrun Missions Online?
Of course. I can send you guys a link to the Discord. The actual sign up page where all of our missions are posted is over at the Shadowcasters Network website. So that is there. You'll see the current listed available missions. Just create an account, sign up. It's $5 to get a seat at the table on a mission per mission basis. So do whatever or sign up to whatever appeals to you. What doesn't appeal to you, feel free to skip it. Doesn't matter. But yeah, signups are always available as long as there's a game going. Feel free.
Awesome. And Eric, welcome.
Hello, I'm Eric DeMage. I am a Shadowrun super fan. I produce nothing on Twitch or Patreon that anyone can support, because I just don't do it. However, I do make free contributions, which is why they're so frequently used, to the Arcology podcast, Ziggy the Troll Philosopher, and a few others, and just basically being a super fan in general and supporting this particular niche corner of the role-playing game hobby.
Awesome. So that's our group. Oh, I guess, hi, I'm Sarah. Forget about myself, guys. I'm the owner and executive producer of Rem Alternis and Chicago Shadows. I'm the one behind all the Twitter posts and social media output. We ran the Kickstarter last year, and this whole journey has been quite a ride. So I've had a lot of support and help. Again, really thank you so much to our backers that made this trailer possible. I think we have some really cool stuff coming for you guys that you're going to be real excited about. One of the things I'm not going to leak, I like sharing everything, so I have to hold myself back. But I finally got the concept art for the Matrix, and it looks so cool. So as soon as that releases, as the trailer releases, you'll get to see how awesome that is. But in the meantime, I am going to drop the actors and the characters for it. So there'll still be plenty to see. Other than that, I do some streaming, playing Deadlands on original box set. And I just hop on and play. I've done Shadowcaster Network stuff. Oh, we're doing the playtest for Demi-Humans this coming week. I need to finish reading the rulebook. Yeah, we're doing a 3-day playtest there and then shooting next weekend. So it's a busy couple months, but we're going to get a calendar up on the website too. So you'll see where Rem Alternis is going to be. But that's what I have. Anyone want to share anything else or ask any specific questions about the project before we jump into our game? That's for any of you guys on stream or in chat as well.
What is the setting of the game that we're playing in today?
So we are taking place in Chicago in kind of a post-apocalyptic future. So it's taking place about 60 to 70 years in the future, and Chicago's been bombed horrifically, and we have kind of a rebuild going on south of the city. So it's much bigger than old Chicago was. And so we've got this group of people just trying to survive that are on the outskirts of town. And the trailer itself, you're going to see some iconic Chicago setting. I've released the pictures of the pagoda that's in Chinatown. Oh gosh, it's called Ping Tom Park. Over there, so that we'll be shooting in there in the evenings. And then also we're shooting around the studio for Jump Point Productions, which is on the south side of the city. And that's where Red Leg Films, who's producing the trailer, that's where their photo studio is. And we're shooting around that area a little bit. So yeah, really exciting stuff. We have a question about what's your plan for after the trailer? More movies? Yes. That is the ideal plan. So what we wanted to do, since we're a small startup, is we wanted to show our proof of concept and what we can really turn, like how we can deliver on Chicago Shadows. So we wanted to have a trailer that really showed our quality and the people behind it and what we can do, and get our name out there and start to get that publicity rising so that we could hold another Kickstarter and potentially produce a pilot or a full season. Scott and I have concepts for the entire season 1. Many of the scripts are already written. So we've got the story there. The problem is film production is spendy. So our budget for the Kickstarter for this trailer was $15,000, and everyone is working for cheap, if not free, to make this happen. So we want to get that proof of concept out so that we can go much, much bigger when we are ready for the pilot. So stay tuned on that. We're going to really pitch during the convention market this year, and then in fall, early fall, see if we're ready to start gearing up for a Kickstarter for the pilot. So we've got some cool stuff too. Gosh, I want to tell you guys everything. I've been talking to a couple of actors as well that I've met at a couple conventions, and one actor that I met actually doing a film when I was in college, and he was in high school. He's a couple years younger, but he's out in LA, and he's on a really well-known hospital show. just gonna leave that there. But I called him. He's a friend of mine, and he is totally willing to help us out when we're ready for him, as long as we can pay his very expensive and wonderful rates. So again, the more we get for Kickstarter, the more we can do with it. So really exciting. But yeah, that's our plan for after the trailer itself. We're also expanding into audiobook markets and some social media management and stuff like that. So yeah, lots coming. Any other questions from you guys? All right, why don't you kick it off, Aaron? Take it away.
All right. So we'll start off with a little bit. I'd love to go around and take an opportunity to introduce each of the characters. We will end with Sarah, so we'll start with Eric. Introduce your character.
Okay, I'm playing Whipper. He's a physical adept, and his favorite weapon is the monofilament whip. He is almost a gross stereotype of a Shadowrunner, gangster turned Shadowrunner, and his mentor spirit is the Dragon Slayer. He has actually slain a dragon in that particular Chicago game where they actually had a bug spirit dragon. Although he had a considerable amount of help and it required a lot of burnt edge.
As
Awesome.
appropriate. How about you, Takashi Jack? Who are you playing? And tell us a little bit about your character.
Sure. I am playing a character named Atlas, who is quite legitimately larger than life in the sense that he is a giant that stands roughly 11 and a half feet tall, or 3.3 meters if you prefer, and weighs about as much as you can expect. He hits things very hard, not exactly the brightest individual as you might expect from a troll-based meta variant, but he is very much a person who will get in front and take bullets for the people that are less physically capable of, or less immune to bullet fire. So he is very much a someone that runs around with a shield to protect everybody in the back.
Very cool. Scott, tell us a little bit about your character. You're on mute.
I'm playing Nex, a Nan-raised Sioux physical adept who specializes in, and he will be just running around shooting things in the face with fléchette.
Awesome.
And I will avoid ever saying how, except for that time. That's it. I'm done.
You can never ask questions now. How are we going to do this now?
Nope.
What are we going to do?
Say what? What will we do?
Sarah.
Now I just want to listen and wait for you to mess up so I can call you on it.
All right, Sarah, your turn.
I'm playing Curie, so she is based off the character from Chicago Shadows and from the trailer. So she is has magical powers, but she believes all magic is stemmed from science, so that it's just parts of the brain that are triggered that mundanes don't have access to. She's pretty cold and callous, which goes along with her ice magic that she uses, unless she's real upset, in which case she loses control a little bit and goes full lightning. So, yeah, that's Curie.
All right. So you're all in Seattle. It's late summer in Seattle, so the weather's been really good, minus the constant terrible rain that will occasionally creep up and chew away at the sidewalks. You get a call from your favorite fixer. I'm not sure who that would be for each of you, but your comlink goes off. It rings. When you check in, your fixer tells you, "Hey, I've got somebody on the line who's got a job. Should pay pretty decent. Has got a solid rep. Goes by the name McAllister. Maybe You've probably heard of him, so hopefully he can hook you up. Otherwise, I'm going to drop out. Also, I hope you accept, because that's how I get my cut. So please say yes. And so he drops off, and he's replaced by a fairly large, ancient-looking orc. Gray hair, bald. At this point, like it's at least thinning up top. And he's like, "Hey, I heard you guys are a group that can get some stuff done, and I'm in need of just a runner crew such as yourself. There's an individual.
I'm honored.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very heavily. If you want, we can meet up at the Big Rhino. If you know where that's at. If not, I can send you directions. Anybody here need directions?
I do. I haven't been to Seattle much, so.
Remind me what part of town that is, Chummer?
Downtown, not too far off of the old spire. Just a couple blocks away from there.
I can meet you there.
Excellent. I will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m.
Be there.
Dress for a fight.
Why not?
Oh.
So you're able
I
to
look
get that
around at
information.
my very empty closet of non-fighting clothes.
So you guys are able to either get public. You've got enough time. He calls somewhere around 2 p.m. So there's a decent amount of time to get down to the Big Rhino. When you arrive, you see this older brick facade building. The neon is half burned out. The side of the walls have been sort of pocked by acid rain over the years. And these big wide stairs that lead up to these massive double doors where even a troll would have an easy time getting through. There's a loud ruckus like Trogrock just blaring out the doors. And as you sort of make your way up the steps, likely Atlas is the most... is Nex a Trog?
Nope. Next is human.
Human. And Whipper's also probably elf.
Human.
So we have one of the Trog variety. Atlas, you are like they see you and they like there's just tons and tons of orcs and trolls all getting drunk. There's plenty of hurlg to go around, and everybody else they kind of look at the smaller folk a little bit weird. But for the most part, like they continue to carouse and slosh their drinks around. The floor is if you have a clean fetish, it's absolutely filthy. The glasses too, for that matter, when you make your order. But you get in there, you go to the bartender. The bartender says, "You're here for Bull? Yeah, no worries. He's got a special room upstairs, all set aside. Just tell me what drinks you want. We'll send it up."
Hurl.
All right.
When in Rome, drink as the Romans.
Just water today.
Also get a funny look from the bartender, like, he wants hurlg and you don't?
I'm working.
Even if you want water, you'll still be drinking hurl. The glasses are that dirty.
That's a great point. I'll have what the big guys have.
All right. What would Curry want?
Water that she won't touch.
She'll send it up. Yeah, and so as you make your way up to the back stairs and these old wooden steps, I mean, just worn, like you can see almost the footprints of use over the years. You make your way up and enter a room, and it basically there's this big door on the side off to the right, and it says McAllister in big bold letters. Seems he's got his own sort of room set aside for frequent use. When you open the door, you find a very nice looking conference table, and behind it is the orc that you had seen on your comm call. He says, "Excuse me if I don't rise, but please have a seat, and your drinks will be up, and we can discuss an opportunity that has come to my attention."
I move to the seat closest to him and sit down.
I find the
Whipper
most
moves over and grabs a seat. Janders is actually more like it. He's kind of a lean guy, and he's got that kind of weird tension that young guys sometimes have, like they're about to explode. And he grabs a seat.
All right. When you slowly made it down to where you need to be, he's like, again, appreciate you coming out, especially when you never know what you're going to get in terms of a job. What I've got is there is an asset that needs to be extracted from a place of business. There's a paying customer who's interested in this person's talents. Should be you're smart folks. You can figure out good ways to accomplish this, but the individual is unaware of the fact that they are sought after. For this, the client is definitely willing to pay you guys 30,000 new yen altogether to extract this individual.
Do they have a family?
The individual does not have a family.
Okay.
The timeline that we need it is within the next 3 days.
Curie's purses her lips shut, almost like holding herself from saying anything, and looks around at the others, waiting to see who might have the skill to handle this conversation.
What kind of condition does the target need to be returned in? I mean, if he is in less than pristine condition, is that still acceptable?
It's an extraction. He needs to be alive.
Yeah, the company is paying for this person's expertise, so
and not turned tarded.
Yeah,
unwilling
extractions can be very tricky there, Chummer. I think you know that. 30,000. It seems a little bit lean to me.
Yeah, definitely. This is but you guys are professionals. Should be a piece of cake for you. In fact, it might be.
And that's the thing, Chummer. We're professionals, so we expect a professional payout. I mean, it's nothing personal. I've heard good things about you. I'd like to work with you, but it just we need a little bit more respect than 30K.
Oh.
It's not even 10K apiece.
For that, I will take a good negotiation roll. So who's leading and who's helping? It sounds like Whipper was leading.
I got 7 dice in it. So if someone has got better than that, please say so and I'll assist.
I can assist through like a scoff. I know talking to people is not my strong suit, so but I get some negatives, so I'm not sure how much I can help you. But we can find out. I'll just at the number.
You snort. You take a drink of the water just so you can spit it out.
Yeah, spit take. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
All right, let me get my roll for you first, Eric.
Okay.
So my negotiation is normally 7 dice total with my charisma, but I have antipathy, so I get to roll 5.
If you'd like, I can assist, but it probably won't help all that much.
Every dice help. All right, so you got 2 hits on that.
You got to put the greater than 6 in there. But you got 2 hits. Or greater than 5. That's it.
All right, you're gonna help
And,
Atlas.
Yeah, through my scoff. That's my. I had a decent scoff for a.
It was a good scoff for 5 dice. Got better than average.
So 2 hits. All right, give me a second. I hit the wrong button on something and jacked myself out. But I will.
There you are. You're back.
There we go.
So he ends up looking. He's like, maybe you will. For this type of extraction, like based on the information I have and the information you have, it's an individual with no strings attached. 30,000 is sufficient in these cases. I'm not going to put any qualms or restrictions on you and how you get it done. So, by all means, if it ain't nailed down, steal it, as they always say.
So Whipper takes a read on the rest of the table and figures it's done as about as good as he can do.
I got a
Okay,
decent
Summer.
friend from town.
It looks like we're in.
All right. So the person that you're looking for is a Mr. Tim Gilman. He works as a scientist down at As Technology. But he does not live in their arcology. He lives outside of the arcology in a small apartment complex up on Beacon Hill. That said, for the last day, he hasn't been at his house or at his laboratory. In addition, we know in 3 days he's being shipped out to the home office. Hence the need to do it quickly.
Do you have any info on his personal security, or is he so low on the totem pole he doesn't get any?
Normally he has a bit of security. It's he usually has drone security. He doesn't rate high enough to have like an actual like security detail. But usually there's 2 drones that are watching over him. That said, from what we've heard, those drones are not active because the data I have has shown that they're normally following him. They are located back at the shop.
Just out of curiosity, you said that he hasn't been at his home or his lab within the past day. What kind of work does Mr. Gilman do for S Technology specific?
It's science. It's something in the field of agriculture. I haven't really followed it that heavily. The company that's looking for it is more interested than I am per se.
Fair enough.
And once we grab this Timmy, where do you want him dropped off?
Well, you contact me and I will arrange a location. I don't have the location yet, but we will easily be able to find a good meet location. I need to negotiate that with the people who are looking for him.
You don't want to tell us who you're working for, do you?
I'd prefer not to.
Yeah.
That may color your desire to do the job. I've been there.
I've heard.
Any other interesting info we need to know about Timmy?
It's kind of boring. At least that's all of, like, I checked his me feed, I checked all of the relevant stuff for you ahead of time. Just did a cursory glance. I wanted to see what I was getting into. Yeah, I mean, he has some interests, but they all they appear pretty scrubbed. There's not a huge amount that seems to be readily available. If you've got somebody that can dig deeper, go for it. Or if you've got some contacts over at Aztec.
Yeah, I don't think we're rolling with a Decker this time. If you got any of that data on a stick, you could send our way. That'd be
I'll send you
pretty handy.
I'll send you a dossier.
Nice.
At least everything I've got.
The area in and around Beacon Hill, is that decent security, just general area? Is it a gated community kind of thing, or is it just more like this is kind of slummy? I'm not familiar with the area. I'm from out of town.
Yeah, it's not too bad. There's a couple sets of gangs that sort of have turf wars over it. The individual communities are more secure, so you've got these 20, 30-story apartment or condominium complexes, and they're kind of nearby. I mean, as technology provides a lot of the local security, and for the most part, the locals have kind of learned if you leave their employees alone, you can get away with whatever because they're not going to bust your chops.
I see.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. You sure you want to tell us who we're working for? We're stealing from the bottom of the barrel already. There's not much worse than the Azzies.
Sure, there is.
Yeah,
But
trust me, there's not.
he kind of smiles. He's like, well, I mean, as technology has that great slogan, right?
Yeah, Taco Temple's delicious. Till you taste that coppery flavor in the back.
I won't eat there. That's why you're here.
Serial killer at Chimichanga is pretty good, but it'll clear a room faster than a frag grenade.
Especially if we feed it to Atlas.
He's like, well, I mean, there's a couple good rib shops up north that'll do the same to you, so just you don't know what type of ribs you're having. Yeah,
I don't.
I mean, likely when we set up the meet, you're gonna figure it out. They're part of the Salish.
All right. I'll accept that, at least we're not benefiting the worst of the worst. Not that any of the Big Ten are better than the others.
A job's a job. I mean, as long as it's not kicking puppies or burning down orphanages.
The way I think about it is,
What's wrong with kicking
left hand,
puppies?
you're giving it right hand. It's the same as any other day.
Fair enough. So
You're a little quiet, Tagashi.
Sorry, I'll see what I can do.
So as he kind of looks up up to the right, and you'll find a dossier appears on your comlink. The image that's associated with it is this sort of ordinary middle-aged guy. Appears to be dwarf. He's got brown hair, pretty stocky. His beard is fairly neatly trimmed, and his nose is exceptionally large for his face. But otherwise looks fairly unpresuming.
Okay.
Okay. I don't suppose you could loan us a bit of a room here in your fine establishment to do a little bit of strategizing.
He's like, no problem. In fact, I was just gonna head down and grab myself some dinner, so you guys can feel free to use this room.
Thanks.
That's solid of you, Chummer.
No problem. And he really slowly like raises up, and you notice like this huge contraption on his legs, and he, with a groan, he just sort of eventually starts moving forward and ambling out of the room. And he closes the door behind him.
All right.
Wow. Right. So, any of you chummers know a Decker? Probably going to need some help tracking this guy since we don't
A
have
really
this-
good one just walked out the door.
Yeah. But he's not getting paid for this job. Well,
Good point.
exactly.
We couldn't afford his rates
Right.
anyway.
So this is the tricky part. He hasn't been seen around work or home, so where'd he go? He doesn't seem to have any hobbies.
Or at least interesting hobbies.
Kind of hobbies they. That seemed weird. Could always just go visit his house.
It seems like a pretty solid idea. Can go check his house out. Does anybody have any contacts that would be able to help out? I got a friend who's in the gangs, but he doesn't roll with any scientist type.
Which gang?
Except for the guys that cook stuff, but those aren't the type of scientists we're looking for.
Which gang?
That would be the Cutters.
Okay.
My contacts are mostly in Chicago, so.
Same.
Let's start with Whipper's contacts.
Okay, and like I said, I got a contact. He's a ganger, and a small arms dealer. T-Rex might know something. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're able to get a hold of him.
Razzie D, it's me, Whipper.
Yo, what up?
What up? How's it going?
I just got a new shipment. I'm hyped.
Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds real good. Might have to try some of that a little bit later. Hey, reason I'm calling is I'm trying to look up a short guy. Goes by the name of Tim Gilman.
Short guy. You cut him down to size?
He's a scientist. Works for the Azzies.
Man, he drew short shift on that one.
Yeah. Don't tell him no short jokes, though. They go over his head.
I think that might have went over my head, too. Tim, let me roll. What's his connection rating?
His connection rating is... a second. 4.
All right. He kind of, you can see over the comm, like, his image, he sort of leans closer to the comm, and he's like, yeah, I've heard of this guy. He likes to slum it. Like, he heads out, like, me and the Cutters didn't want him around. But that means he just probably found somebody else to, like mooch off of and get his thrills.
Really? What does he like to do?
Yeah, he kept wanting to go on, like, some of our ride-alongs and, toss a, not necessarily hurt people, but maybe destroy some property. if you catch my feel.
Wow, he's a wannabe ganger. Huh.
You know, everybody's got to get their thrills, right?
Clean cut.
Yes, somebody should have an agent. Sorry, I do have like 15 screens open.
That's okay.
Actually a pretty good idea. So one of the things that Bull does, I'm gonna retcon a bit, as I'll take Hal's suggestion. There's a comm that he leaves on the table, and he says, you know, feel free to use it. It's got an agent on it, so if you need to do any searching or whatnot, and so it's got a program module on it. It's a rating 5 comm link. He's like, yeah, it's got a rating 5 agent on it, so if you need to do any searches. He's like, I do want it back at the end of this.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Resi D, if you could shoot that info you have on this Timmy guy to my comm link, and I will prepay for some of that stuff plus a little extra, if you know what I mean.
Roll me your etiquette plus loyalty.
Etiquette plus loyalty. I actually do have etiquette. That's a little better.
That's pretty solid. He's like, no, man, you're like my favorite customer. I got you covered. This is comp. Just occasionally come by, buy you know, a little extra here and there, and we'll call it good.
All right, Chummer. Thanks for doing that solid for me. I will be by.
And so you find on your comm a file from him. It appears to be a video file. When you play it, it shows this dwarf like pleading, "Hey, come on, man! Let me just ride along with you guys to come with." So you get sort of a vocal imprint as well as a video of him pleading with the cutters.
Yeah, I will throw that up on my comm link and show people. I'll forward to them if they want. Okay, so he likes to pretend to ride with the big boys. That's definitely not something you want to put on your me feed for the corpse to see.
So we have a little more insight, but we don't have a location yet. Anyone else got information or someone they can call?
Nothing that I can necessarily help with. But I do think that the idea of going to check out a guy's place might actually give a little bit more first-hand clues as to where he might be.
Fair enough. Does anyone have a...
I'll make a.
Who are you calling?
I instantly throw up a 200 new yen bribe or a 200 new yen donation to the police retirement fund, as I call Tosh, and send it to him, so he ignores that I'm a former criminal.
You get a when when the donation comes through. Tosh calls you back and says, "So I hear you're looking for tickets to the ball."
I am, for a friend of mine. His name's Tim Gilman.
Tim.
He needs tickets to the ball, and probably a ride from wherever he's currently at. I'll have to pick him up.
Interesting. Is he a friend of yours? You Or are you just playing chauffeur?
I'm just the chauffeur as usual.
I don't. Let's see. Do I? Tasha's connection 4, at least in the
2.
season. Oh, he's 2.
There's 2 in mine.
I'm gonna make him 3.
Probably gone up.
Yeah, we'll make him 3. Man, these guys are rolling out of their gourd. That's all right. It'll all fail later. He's like,
Help.
funny thing is like that name came across my sheet not too long ago. I might be able to help you. And at that point, give me an etiquette roll with his loyalty, and we'll see how much if the price of the ball went up. He's like, well, so I've got some pretty solid info on your the person you're going to be chauffeuring. I think for a little extra money, we can figure out how to make sure that he's able to attend the ball.
Oh, yeah. I could always buy more tickets. Bring in more
Excellent.
extra people to donate to the wonderful charities.
It means so much to us. He tells so he doesn't as much say it, but you've kind of discerned that you're probably going to need to buy an additional 5 tickets. That said, you can buy less if you want a little less info.
So the 5 tickets would be 500, or 5 tickets like I'm giving him $1,000.
You're giving him a
I don't know
grand.
how many tickets I was buying the first one. Okay, cool. Yep, send it over to him.
He's like, so here's what I've found out. He was involved in a recent arson over in Bellevue.
Did you say arson?
Arson. Probably about a month and a half ago.
Oh.
And he had you're probably familiar. He had the orange and black as a bandana on.
Oh, Lord.
But he bought a lot of tickets to the ball and managed to convince the beat officer to let him slide.
Nice.
So based on that, I've got a pretty good feeling where he's been slumming it.
Well, hopefully I got enough tickets for the ball for you to drop that addy on.
If you're heading over there, you could do me a solid.
Of course.
There's a punk over there who goes by the name Firebrand. I could use if you can locate him, give me a location and say maybe hog tie him for me. I could see paying you 20,000 new yen.
It's a nice sizable.
Yeah, he's been real tricky to nail down.
The one black and orange wears.
Yeah.
All right. Does he need to be moving in the hog tie?
I would prefer it. I would like to see him pay properly for the things he's done. But if he's not moving, I'm fine with that.
I'll try and bring him in. I like it better that way too.
So do I. Proper justice.
All right. Well, guess we'll over there start looking for 2 folks.
Yeah, I mean, I would start with the jack-o'-lantern, but that'd be me. All right. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, thanks, Tosh. Click. So, yeah, Tosh wants us to. Well, we got a possibility of more money. So, our guy is currently hanging out over near those wonderful costume-wearing fire flame Halloweeners.
Fun.
But there's a bounty on one of them, 20K. So if we hog tie him and bring him back, my guy will give us that. Plus, he happens to be near where our little Timmy is.
So
That was not
Crackhead
intended as a short joke as a
get some
dwarf.
extra
I was
money.
just using a little Timmy reference. Sorry. That was nice.
You just keep calling him Little Timmy when you pick him up.
My guy recommended starting talking folk at the Jack. However, none of us are really good at talking to folk, so I imagine we might have to just beat folk.
I can talk, I just can't always convince.
It's called orcish diplomacy.
He just took his arm off.
Does
and beat
that
him
mean
with it.
trolls do it twice as well? Because they're twice as big?
Yes.
I can show you. Got a first
Excellent.
demonstration.
It's all right. I was pretty much relying on you to knock him out because I'm not very good at knocking people out. I tend to kill them. How about you, Curie? You like to knock things out?
I'll do it. It has to be done, but brute force is not what I'm. It's not what my specialty is.
All right. I don't know what your specialty is if it's out brute force. Make stuff disappear. Float, fly stuff.
We'll see as we
Confuse
get
stuff.
closer and there's need. There's a variety that I don't care to list out if we don't have need for it. So as we get closer, we can and come up with a game plan. I'll advise in terms of how I may help.
Excellent.
All right.
I guess the
Consider
next question.
your support. I'll stand behind the human meta shield and work my magic from back there.
So what's next? Which location do you want to hit first?
Well, we could jander on over to the wieners, and well, I'm sure that would be great fun. But I mean, how many wieners would we wind up killing just to get it 2 guys?
Simultaneously,
Not
too
nearly
many
enough.
and not enough.
Yeah, not enough. Any we do is just helping the Seattle become a better place.
I think it might be worthwhile to drop by his apartment, and maybe dig up some clues there. We might get lucky and find him snoozing out there.
I would prefer to just go check. However, he did work for S Technology, and I'm not particularly keen on dealing with their security.
No, but his apartment's not that terribly secure. We just go over there. I mean, we're close relatives. Here on behalf of his dearly deceased mother, who left him a large inheritance. Something. Could you help us? There might be
All
some
right.
inspiration for you.
Whip's
Sound-
doing the talking.
Yeah, let's do it.
So how are you guys getting there? What vehicles we got?
That was the question. Are we taking one vehicle, or are we taking each our own private vehicle?
I don't have a car, so
I might be able to arrange a ride.
Roadmaster.
I have a pickup truck. Can we fit in the Roadmaster with you?
I only take 2 seats.
It's like a
Seat
compact
eight.
car.
He gets in the back seat and reaches over to drive them.
Mhm.
Almost, yeah.
So it sounds like you could take one, or you could take a couple.
I'd prefer to keep it together. How about you?
That's probably for the best.
I'm
Okay.
all good leaving my car here. Probably the safest place been parked in months.
Outside the big rhino? Yeah. Alright, so you pile into into Atlas's vehicle. I believe that was the biggest of the bunch. And
Mm-hmm.
Start-
Roadmaster.
start-
Beats my armadillo.
start making your way up towards to Beacon Hill. The streets themselves are not too bad at about 7 o'clock. As you get closer towards the As Technology arcology, the traffic gets a little bit heavier as you see people, like some of the vehicles, streaming out towards the various complexes to the south of it. The address that's provided, you pull up outside of the apartment complex, and you find looks like a 20 to 25 story building. The odd bits about it, it looks like it's been retrofitted specifically for dwarves. You can tell by the locations of the door handles. The windows themselves are smaller as well. You find that the main entrance sort of leads into a lobby area. You can kind of see through the glass windows, and you can see that there's a maglock and keypad outside the main door.
I might be of just questionable usefulness here. This is not exactly built for someone of my stature.
Whatever, you got hands and knees.
The hallways are normal human size, which does still mean it's going to be tight.
You could crawl through the doors. Yeah, we lack that whole technological savvy here. I could shoot the door if you want.
Another option, I don't know how it affects necessarily, but I could make it cold, more vulnerable to damage, and I'll look up at Atlas.
I have some skills with locks.
Oh,
Um,
well,
we could
please.
also buzz someone randomly in the building and hope that they let us in.
I mean, we could
That
just say it's for a
never
Girl Scout
works.
cookie. Who doesn't unlock the door for Girl Scout cookies?
That always works.
So Whipper pulls out a maglock pass key, and he starts as surreptitiously as he can. Starts to undo the lock.
All right, I will take a palming as you're trying to sort of do this without anybody really noticing, and then follow that up with just 2 times the rating of the device.
If it helps, I will stand behind you and block all cameras from possibly seeing.
Woo.
Is there a mechanical panel of door buttons, or is there an AR screen that I can bring up?
There is.
Accessing the node.
It is an
Access
AR
the
screen.
player.
Yes.
I bring it up and I do the boop 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 boop, boop, boop and just tap them all. Yes. And then look sheepishly at Atlas behind me as if like, you said it'll work.
Law of averages, somebody's gonna let you in.
They'll think it's one of their package being delivered or something.
Roll me your edge.
All right.
Pretty good successes for those 2 rolls.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me another one on the maglock, but -1. Okay, and then I think Scott's given us an edge test. Yeah, the Meglock is successful after a little bit of time. You're able to pop it with the with your sequencer. All right, 4 successes.
Whipper opens the door with a flourish.
At the same point, like you see an AR, like 15 faces suddenly appear. Like, are you my Domino's order?
Oh shit, this is a dystopia. Domino's has survived 60 years in the future.
Yep, got pizza right here.
Our Luck, subsidiary of Ass Technology.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It all buzzes through. Yes, Domino's is the dominant pizza chain. Pizza Hut did lose. I should have picked something more Seattle, like Mod Pizza.
Of course.
But it all buzzes through at the same point as you see the thing flash green as the sequencer does its job. And the door pops open. You know that his apartment is on the 3rd floor.
Is the elevator built for regular people, or is it also dwarf sized?
Regular people. And luckily it uses AR and not buttons, because it'd be like knee-high buttons.
Dwarves have regular guests.
Yeah, everything seems to be. It's just that all the buttons and handles are lower. That said, for the most part, luckily AR is a primary means.
Okay.
So what's the plan? You're in.
After you, gentlemen.
Quick suggestion: if he is at home and is trying to avoid us, have somebody standing in the stairwell in case he tries to bolt.
I mean, if you literally sit in the stairwell, he's not getting around you.
No, but it's, you know what I'm getting at here.
So the basic layout of the building is it's like a half city block. So you've got it's about 100 meters long, but it's about 50 meters wide. There's a central corridor that goes through. So as you look down the hallway, you can see what looks to be probably 5 doors to the left and 5 doors to the right. There is 2 sets of elevators about halfway down. And the stairwells are located on either end.
Okay.
I got the stairwell that way, and I start walking over that way.
Well, Whipper whips out a cigarette, lights it up, and just janders towards the elevator.
I'll take the other stairwell.
And punches the numbers to get to the 3rd floor.
As he does that, I'll follow quickly so the doors don't close on me.
All right. So those taking the stairway, there's no locks on it. The elevator just takes you up to the 3rd floor. So you end up making it up to the 3rd floor, no problem. You can, as you get off the elevator, you do notice that there is a camera in the sort of the centralized elevator area. So right above where the elevator's let out. But otherwise, you don't see any other cameras on the floor.
So Whipper whips out a SARS mask, puts it on, and heads towards Timmy's apartment.
I'm gonna go ahead and like peeking out and seeing the camera. I'm gonna go ahead and step back beside the door to the elevator and cast my invisibility. All right, let's see if I can use this formula right, guys. I did. Oh, and this is 5th edition. I'm not playing 6th edition. So we'll do Force 6.
4/6, and this is for an invisibility?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my drain. Oh my gosh, when am I?
4/6 invisibility. It's generally force -2, I believe, for that one.
It's Force -1.
Force -1, okay. Improved invisibility or regular?
Improved.
Okay.
Like there's another invisibility.
Right.
That is true.
Only one drain.
Nice. Yeah, you suddenly is it just on you?
Yeah, because he put his mask on and like walked out of the elevator. So I was like, "Whoa, I'm not ready."
Yep. So you go invisible enough that I'm sure that the rest of the team, well, actually, you guys might actually notice with the your perception. But yeah, you go invisible and transparent as you meander out of the elevator before the doors close back behind you.
I'll as soon as I'm done casting too, I'll subvoke and tell him like, "Hey, I went stealth mode. I went stealth mode."
Whipper looks behind him and is like, and heads off to Timmy's door.
Who did we lose? We lost Scott.
We lost Scott for a second.
All right. What happens if I make this big? Is this gonna break everything? Yes, that totally broke everything. I decided to flip it a little bit so that we didn't have the big cross in the middle of everybody's faces. Scott did use invisibility. You guys end up going and likely you've got 2 people sitting at the end, and that way Whipper and Curie can go up to the door. The door happens to be room 303. When you get there, you find that the door is it's a fairly big wooden door. Door handle is exceptionally low. Also seems to have a pass key sort of key reader for and a maglock for its locking mechanism.
Okay, well, one more time with the maglock key. Ooh. Not so hot there.
Right. Yeah, you blip through it a couple times and it keeps giving you red.
Well, that's annoying. Can I use my locksmith skill to figure out, what I'm doing wrong, or is it just a flat nothing?
You think that maybe it's the key seed is not the right one for this door manufacturer. I mean, by the looks of the rest of the building, it looks like it's older but a retrofit, so it could be just out of date with what you've got. It's possible you could crack it open and attempt to hotwire it.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I have any tools for cracking it open.
Or you can breach it. 2 shotgun shells to the hinges and push it in.
It's a little early to go loud.
I might be able to. If you don't have it, I can try anyway. I could cast an ice spear, like put my hand on the lock and cast an ice spear to just try to. And it's not loud. Do you want me to whip it?
If you think you can do it and it won't be loud, if not, I have one other thing in my tool bag.
You try first. I'll be your backup plan.
Okay, stand a little bit down the hall there.
Can do.
And Whipper pulls out a small handle-shaped object, and he steps a little ways back and flicks a button, and a glowing wire spools out from the monofilament whip handle. And he does a slashing cut to the doorway where the lock is to basically part the lock from the door.
All right, give me a roll, and then we'll take the damage, and we'll see how well you slice through it.
Okay, let's see.
All right, that is an excellent slice, and so that's 8 at a -8, so that's gonna be 12 damage.
He gets an extra point because one of his skills there. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, you
damage rating increased by critical strike with an exotic melee weapon.
-8. Yeah, you slice clean through the lock.
And he spools the monofilament whip back into the handle and slaps it into his pocket and gently pushes open the door.
Door freely swings open. When you look inside, what you can see is it's a small apartment. Sorry. You can. It looks like a studio apartment. It looks definitely like the typical bachelor pad. So you see the trid set taking up the vast majority of the what would be the living room. There's a kitchen that looks like it hasn't seen a good washcloth in this year. You can see that there's a small hallway that goes back towards what would be a bedroom. Is there a neon Soywiser sign? There should be, but there's not, unfortunately. So yeah, but there are a couple like bottles of Soywiser sort of lined up along the top of the counters in the kitchen area. I will take perception tests for those that are in the room.
All right. Holy shit. I see everything.
What is your mental limit?
Let me check. It's definitely probably not 9. 5. So I get to keep 5 of them.
Okay, you take it all in, but it all keeps going right through you.
I have never seen that kind of roll. Out of 11d6, 9 hits.
I hope I get something like that when I really, really need it.
RNGesus never loves us that much.
For now, you see the cockroach poop that is left behind. Useful.
So you don't hear anything. It seems really silent. As you sort of look around at least the living area and the kitchen, you shut the door behind you, you start looking in the couch and make sure that things that there's nothing that you find. You find a loaded pistol in the couch. Looks like it looks like an Ares Predator, but you can tell that it's a cheap knockoff. When you kind of handle it, it feels flimsy. And you also find beside it a Metalink comlink. And it's turned off.
I wonder if he was pretending to be a Shadowrunner too.
Yeah, and then other things as you start to move through the apartment. The bed doesn't look like it's been made. There's a number of clothes on the floor. A lot of them look like business wear, like something you would wear to the office. There are in the closet a number of lab coats. Most of them have singe marks all along the cuff of the sleeves as well as the bottom of the coat. What else do you find? The bathroom itself is also just disgusting. But
I
for
look down at my own lab coat that's all cybered out and look back up and go, mine's better.
absolutely,
I can't see that from here, honey.
And
So
so,
yeah,
yeah, you
continue to toss the place real quickly. Look under the bed. Look under the couch.
yeah, you end up finding mostly the interesting bits. You find the gun, you find the meta link, and you also find it looks like a data pad. And when you kind of flip it on, it appears like it's unlocked, and you can see some lab results. It looks like there's some sort of test with growth patterns based on bone meal fertilizer. But it's called, like, the sample was like, it's kind of a bit disturbing, like with samples named troll, orc, dwarf, human, and elf.
Yeah, Whipper's eyes kind of glaze over, like after the first paragraph worth of facts and figures, because he has an uneducated quality. So he hands the data pad and the meta link out to the air where he thinks. All right.
Does Curie grab them?
I'm behind him right now, so I kind of like reach past him and like try to grab at it as he keeps moving. Thank you. I'll kind of take a look through and take a look at the science. Is it good science or is it like really crazy, shitty science? This is important.
Do you have a chemistry background or
Less
knowledge
chemistry,
skill?
more
Knowledge.
bio, neurology, and organic.
Okay, I'll take a biology knowledge skill.
Okay, it's under general science, but is that okay?
That's totally fine. Oh no!
That's how I roll whenever I play Shadowrun.
That's a lot of fours.
7 dice with no hits.
Ah.
Oh wait, Edge works differently in 5th edition, so I can spend.
Yes, you can post edge.
Yeah,
It's
Let's
1
do-
point of edge to reroll any amount of dice.
thank you, because I just like went into 6th gear and I was like, I don't want to spend 5 edge on this, and I don't have to, and I am an edge monster.
Oh, an edgeomancer.
The best kind of character in 5th.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Is it pretty bad? 1 hit. That's better than none.
I mean, it's better than nothing, but damn.
I expect roll 20 to make this up to me when we get into a fight.
Well, so you look at it, and the science seems real, but you can't make heads or tails of the sort of data that they're using. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But it does, like, they're using proper methods.
This could be better done, better written. I'm going to pretend it's not me. But I'm going to go ahead and like take it to maybe look over later. And it may help us when we have more time. And then Whipper, why don't you take a look at the meta links? Maybe.
Okay. So Whipper takes a look at the metal link and sees if he can unlock it with his 4 in computers.
Okay. I will take that. Mostly because we don't have a hacker. Come on, where's my roll? Oh, there it is.
We could make an edge test to look around his apartment and be like, I think his password is like find something that looks like it matters. Science is neat.
His password is Trogdor.
It's typed. It's underneath his keyboard.
Yeah. So yeah, you are able to unlock it.
Okay. So start poking around and seeing if there's any numbers in there.
So give me a matrix search. We'll take computers plus intuition.
Okay. That's actually not too bad.
That's too bad.
That's horrible. Whipper turns to Curry and is like, "You good with computer stuff?" I mean, I got it open. I just can't seem to pry anything out of it.
Very much no.
Well, when you look at it, it's Azlaner Spanish.
It's in Spanish?
Yeah.
Of the 6 languages I know, Spanish is not one of them. So, why don't we take this back to the others? Maybe they have a skill that we lack.
Okay. The Ares Predator, is it one of those ones that has like a smart link on it or something that would identify the person who owns it?
You can see that like when you're logged in to the comlink that there's a name associated. It's Juan Montoya.
Juan Montoya. Okay. It's a crap pistol anyway. I don't see any use for it. So yeah, Whipper. Juan Montoya.
You get a
I'll
sense.
take one more look at the pistol with my computers. But if there's nothing exciting on it, I'm just gonna leave it on the sofa.
Do you need a computer skill to just run it through Google Translate?
No, that sounds like it's a data processing ×2. It's like you're just having the comlink do its job by itself.
Yeah, because Control V plus Control C plus Control V is way too hard for.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll say that if you can afford buying the Linguasoft, you can have the Linguasoft translate it.
Fair enough.
The Eros Predator, yes. The Predator V, and it's actually VEE. You take a look at it. You notice that there's a maker's mark on the bottom of it. And roll me. Do you have area? You probably don't have area knowledge of Seattle, do you?
Let's see. Redmond Barons.
Yes, I will take that.
Okay.
Come on, roll. There we go. You're back.
So with 4 successes, yeah, you absolutely, you've seen that maker's mark before. There's a guy that makes knockoff guns. He's located sort of in the western side of the Redmond Barrens. You know that he supplies to the Halloweeners quite a lot. His guns, like, you wouldn't use them, but the Halloweeners don't mind. They do have a tendency to jam up much easier than a normal gun. Yeah, and there's no smart link inside. Like, It is a poor knockoff of the real deal.
So it's basically clean. Well, maybe we can look up the gun maker that made this in the Barrens, and he might have some information. So yeah, Whipper will take the pistol.
Okay.
I think we're done here. I'm not sure this guy's got any more of this place, unless you want to check the big screen TV to see what kind of porn he watches.
Not particularly. Thanks.
I didn't think so, but you
but,
never know what a girl's into.
If you could hold one moment more, I am going to sense and see if I can pick up on anything unexpected.
It's a good call. Three hits. All right. So you take a quick look around astrally. The sort of emotions that you're getting to read off of the location. So you can see these sort of ghosts of him moving about the apartment. There are an inordinate amount of it is this dwarf sitting on a couch. And so he ends up. You notice that he's. A lot of it is this sort of sense of dread that you're picking up as a sort of recent, sort of emotion that comes off of the dwarf. So. And that doesn't seem to be pervasive. It's not like it's all through the apartment. It seems to be something that is sort of a recent emotional impression that you're pulling.
So it's possible that he might be in trouble or acting out for a reason. Maybe he needs the money or support. We'll keep it in mind.
Okay.
I agree. I think we're finished.
Okay, let's go collect the big boy and get out of here before people get suspicious. And as we leave, Whipper will pick up the section of the door and gently place it back in so it looks more or less correct. And head on out.
I always like a roll for that, but we'll skip it. So yeah, you're able to at least get it somewhat lined up. If you want to make it really good, you'll have to roll for it, but yeah, duct tape always works. Do you have duct tape with you?
No, I'm not like putting it back together. The monofilament whip slices really fine, so it should be reasonably, concealed to the person that's more interested in whatever the hell they're doing than what Timmy's up to.
They're carrying groceries into the apartment. They walk past the door. They won't even notice it.
So
they breathe on it heavily. It swings open, and all of the pieces fall off.
60% solution. Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. So yeah, you're able to. You've got a comm link. You've got a data pad. You've got a cheap knockoff gun, and you got some information.
All right, so back to the Roadmaster. Then we'll share our knowledge. So anybody speak or read Spanish?
Pablo Espanol.
Wow. Give it to that guy.
Nope.
Can I send the message to a connection I have that does speak Spanish?
Absolutely. You can. Well, let me see. What's their connection rating?
Connection 5.
All right. You get a hold of them, barely. They're like, I'm real busy. What's up?
What's up?
Hey Juan, I'm going to send you some text. Can you translate for?
Translation?
Easy job, right? I'm going to go.
Is this Juan Schuedel?
Yeah.
All right. He's like, I don't know. Like, give me. So do an etiquette test with his loyalty.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm mean to everyone. So let's take charisma -2.
Well, plus your loyalty, so you get one back.
Wait, it's plus loyalty, so my loyalty's 2.
Yep.
So it's my charisma 5 -2 plus 2?
Yep.
I won't argue with you, GM.
One point in etiquette does wonders.
I've done worse talking to humans.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the plus side. So you take a look at. He's like, do you have a time frame that you need this? Like really, I'm heading out the door.
You heard that I wanted to ping him 200 new yen, right?
I did not hear that one.
Oh yes, I must have not pushed to talk. Sorry about.
It's like I can take a look at it.
As soon as possible.
Will. How about 2 hours from now?
Fine, and I hang up because I'm not.
He continues talking at an empty line for a little while longer until he realizes that like it's disconnected. You don't hear the deep sigh that he lets out when he realizes that he's been talking to nobody.
Loyalty 1.
And so yeah, then what are you guys gonna do? He's gonna go translate that. We lost Scott.
We had another location, correct? That we needed to investigate.
Well, we were gonna go look at the Wiener territory. Maybe dig around that. Oh well, there's the gun maker. Maybe the gun maker does something.
Does anyone have any weapons contacts that might be able to tell us more?
They would be able to tell you the same thing. It's if you had one, it'd be the Maker's Mark. So just to save you guys some time.
So we can go to the Barons. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into some Wieners and we'll ask them nicely, and they'll tell us what we need to know.
Also, he had an aura recently of distress, panic almost. So something's changed in his routine, and the reason he hasn't been home might mean trouble. Not that this job wasn't trouble to begin with.
Yeah, might be. But it might be because he was worried about the fungus growing in his shower might eat him.
Wait, that's a thing?
In his shower, it is.
Anyone need to pick anything up before we head into Wiener territory? Any stops we need?
Taco Temple?
If anybody needs to pick up additional gear from a stuffer shack, that's as Kender Mage put it.
Is the weapon maker, by the way, in the same location that's Wiener territory?
Yeah, they're in Wiener territory.
Oh, okay. So
I want you guys to know saying
birds, one stone, one visit.
saying Wiener in a British accent is really just gross.
Is it? You can buy it in a can over there. Oh no, it's called Spotted Dick.
You could just call them by their proper names, Halloweeners.
That's true. So yes, Halloweeners is exactly it. What's the so are you're going after and talking to the gunmaker?
Yes. And if we happen to see this firebrand guy jandering down the street, you know,
I'm
maybe
sure
we
he'll
could.
get his soon enough.
Yeah. Let's see. You got a good description from your friend, right?
Whose friend?
The police officer.
Yeah, Scott was able to get. Sorry, not Scott. Nex was able to get a description of the ganger.
Okay.
Did I give him a name?
Firebrand.
Firebrand. That's it. I gotta write this stuff down or I forget it. The image of him, he looks kind of like a standard Halloweener. Big, huge mohawk, dyed in black and orange. Almost looks like tiger stripes. He's got some facial tattoos. The image of him is him in his Halloween cut. You can see the placard in front of him with the number and like Firebrand in quotes sitting in front of him. And because it's wonderful and it's a Trid, you can kind of spin it around a little bit and see that he has tats up and down his arm, his left arm, and not his right. And he has a number of fetishes sort of attached to the front of him. I will take a magical traditions from Curie. I assume that you would have that, or if somebody else does.
Yeah, I have basic arcana.
I'll take that as -2.
You got it.
Ouch.
Oh no. Yeah, you're not really familiar with the trappings on the front of him.
I think those around his neck are symbolic of magic of some sort, but I'm not familiar with the type.
As far as you know, he could be a faux mage.
He could be a poser.
Yes, an omelette du fromage.
That's a mighty dangerous thing to try and be. Kind of like walking into a gunfight with no bullets. Possibly no gun.
That sounds like Tuesday.
Are you armed with a club?
I'm armed with fists. I have no actual weapons.
Oh, brawler. Yes.
He does the nose thing before he.
It's like that's his focus. Whenever you watch somebody rub their nose with their thumb, that's their the tick that they have when they center before beefing. So it sounds like you're gonna head towards the gunmaker and keep an eye out for Firebrand.
Yes.
And wait for information from Juan on the translation.
Okay. So
if
what?
it helps at all for the description, when you had seen Atlas in the meeting and when he was driving the Roadmaster, he's got like a series of densoplasts just kind of underneath his knuckles and on the bottom side of his paw. So you can see like that's his primary weapon.
Built for striking.
Ouch.
All right, so you guys start heading towards the Redmond Barrens. Like the trip across the I-90 bridge is no problem, although you can see the turnoffs as you go through Council Island. You can see the checkpoints for people that wish to head up there. Once you get past the Council Island, you get into Bellevue, and the beautiful city is laid out before you as you quickly zoom through on your way towards much worse territory. You eventually find yourself, and it doesn't take too long to get north of Bellevue, and you find yourself up in dilapidated buildings and burnt out husks of cars. You recognize the fact that you're in 405er territory as well, and so you're able to sort of get off the expressway and onto the back streets of Halloweener territory. Let's see. Whipper, you were the one that knew of the gunsmith, correct?
Yes.
I will take a navigation test as you attempt to find your way through the back streets.
Okay. I do not have navigation as a skill.
Okay.
I mean, I do know something about the Redmond Barons. Would you accept that as a roll?
Yeah, I will.
Uh,
Is that intuition based on the Redmond Barons?
it's a knowledge skill.
Well, they're usually either intuition or logic.
Okay, so it's intuition. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You gotta be crap.
Oh, that's totally fine. You guys drive around for quite a while in the Redmond Barrens. And Atlas, you're getting these directions from Whipper, and you could swear you've seen the same like old like Les Schwab garage for like 4 or 5 times. Just driving past.
You sure you're reading those directions right? You're not just giving me instructions 5 seconds too late after I've already passed the corner? Like 4 times?
I know where I'm going. I was born in this place.
You try again at a -2.
Yes.
At this point, let's see, it was 7. You guys hit that apartment. It's 9. You're back in the Barrens. It's 10. You failed a bunch, so it's 11 p.m. You are able to find your way there, but at the same point, you've noticed that people have started to take a notice to the big roadmaster that keeps rumbling by. Yeah. And while they're not quite willing to go up against the roadmaster as it stands, you do notice that as you're driving, when he starts recognizing some of the landmarks. Whipper's able to recognize some of those landmarks. You notice that in the rear view mirror that it looks like every so often cars will follow you for a while, and then they'll pull off. But you do make it to the gunsmith, and what you find is this small shop. And outside on the sign above it, there's like a flashlight that's sort of been taped to a post that points up at this hand-painted sign that says "Guns and More." That said, in AR you can see what looks like the AR skills of probably a 5-year-old has sort of painted up "Guns and More" in equivalent. The sign says "Open."
I like these kind of opening hours.
Never know when a man's gonna need a gun in the Baron. So Whipper will open the door and head on in.
So you end up walking in. You can see there's 3 guys over, like looking at different weapons. They all have the orange and black bandanas tied to their arm. You can see that there's a number of individuals, looks like trolls, that are looking at some body armor. And then you can hear gunshots from it sounds like a back room. And then there's go ahead.
Can I go in with him as well? I'm still invisible. I haven't.
You're still maintaining that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have focus concentration. It's not costing me anything.
Yeah, you're able to maintain that as he walks in. And then there, behind the counter is the gunsmith, which you know his name is, and I gotta generate a name really quick in my head, unless somebody has one. Frog jokes. We will call him Short Barrel.
Short barrel.
I'll actually. Trig McGee is his fake sin, but Short Barrel is standing there, and he looks human. He's got slightly pointed ears, but you think that it's probably just his orc poserness or troll poserness, and he sort of looks around at you guys or not you guys. Is everybody going, or is it just Whipper and Curie?
I can go in.
Okay. Yeah, he looks at the two of you, and probably Togashi's probably in there as well, and kind of gives.
You mean next?
Yeah, he gives you a look over, and he's like, "Wait, Whipper? You got a new crew?"
Well, they're not my crew, but I'm running with them tonight.
You look in the. I mean, normally you don't buy from me, but I remember seeing you around.
Oh yeah, yeah. You do good stuff for what you charge.
I'm not gonna say I try, but I like making money.
That's good enough. That's good enough. And
So-
I
Are you gonna?
probably help you with that last bit.
Then I am all ears.
So Whipper very gingerly pulls out the Eros Predator, drops the magazine, racks the slide, clears it, and hands it to Short Barrel and says, "Yeah, I'm looking for the guy that owns or owned this."
Yeah, that one is I've seen that before. They let me go check my serial numbers. And that's just a load of crap, right? Like there was no serial numbers on that gun at all.
Yeah.
But he walks in back. And he comes back out in about a couple minutes later, and he's like, "Yeah, some wannabe picked it up. Like, what are you doing with it?"
Oh, he owes us a little bit of money.
Well, shoot. Like, let's help you guys out. Like, I understand
I do
the
judge
money.
intentions on this guy because heading into the back does seem a little bit suspicious.
Sure, give a judge intentions. Those are my favorite rolls.
And I'd like to sense the room.
Sure. So judge intentions, you get the sense that he's telling the truth, but at the same point, when you showed the gun, like he is also hiding something when he comes back. With Zero, like this guy seems kind of slimy. I mean, he strikes you as what you'd get at a car salesman, not necessarily as a gun salesman. Those are definitely way more trustworthy. And with six, yeah, I know. With 6 successes on the A sensing, on the room or on him, Sarah?
What was that?
For the A sensing, was it on him or on you?
That's on auras.
In the room in general?
Yeah, if however you want to split that. If you want me to do multiple rolls, I'm happy.
Give me 2 more, and then you'll tell me which ones go with which. So there's 3 groups in the room. Well, there's 2 groups, and then there's Short Barrel.
First one is Short Barrel.
Okay.
The second one is group 1.
Yeah. So group 1 is the group that is near the guns, and then group 2 is the trolls that are near the body armor. Sweet. So with 6 hits, you know everything about him. He is not a technomancer. Also good to know. But he seems to be like you're reading symbols around him, like the. All right, get to go change this back. You can see symbols of the Halloweeners sort of showing up in his aura. You're able to see that he that there's ties definitely between them. You can detect that he has some minor augmentations. It appears to be in his arm, specifically hands and arms. And his mood is cagey. For the other ones, the trolls in group 3, they don't seem to be paying you any mind at all. The other group that's checking out the firearm, you notice that they're definitely eyeing you, and you get a generally hostile sense from them. One of them does appear to be a mage.
Ah, shit. Okay.
With 3, you would know that they are less powerful than you are.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to kind of position myself, like put Whipper between me and them. So in case they get notification to Geek the Mage and my location, I have someone between us. Sorry, Whipper. But
Atlas is a better one, right? Like,
oh, Atlas is in the room too. I'll do it with Atlas. That's right. I forgot about that.
Atlas is the bullet soak.
Self-preservation first, guys. I'm valuable.
Only mostly bulletproof.
So I'm also going to subvoke that they've got a mage in that group, and that there's some nasty intentions there. So or at least they're eyeing us. So but I'll try not to interrupt Whipper or distract him from doing his things.
Okay. So Whipper will lean in close to Short Barrel, and just close enough so that Short Barrel can smell the sour hurl on his breath and say, "Hey, Short Barrel, you wouldn't be withholding something from old Whipper, would you? It's a new crew here. I don't know what they're gonna do. But if it goes down, I'm gonna be with them, not you."
Well, yeah, I mean, we're both from the Barrens, man. Like, why would I hold anything from you?
Oh, I got that sense there. I got that sense. I can make it worth your while if you just spit it out.
All right. I don't know, man. I'm not hiding anything from you. Like, and you can see like his hands on the counter with his palm up.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a security procedures roll?
Sure. What are you specifically looking for?
Okay. So you say he's got his hand on the counter with his palm up. Where's his other hand? Because it's probably under the counter holding a shotgun.
Yeah, give me a roll.
Or pressing a button or alerting somebody of something or what have you. I have 3 successes.
You think based on the positioning of his arm, that there probably is a shotgun underneath there? You also can see that the part of the place where he's at, like, it looks like that area of wood has been replaced multiple times.
Okay.
So does Whipper get any of this?
Depends if you guys are on non-commu or basically text message link or subvocal link. What do you got, Atlas?
I guess I'll walk up to the counter to make it look like I'm part of this conversation as well, and I'll put my hand on your shoulder and I'll, with my left hand, just kind of knock the counter right next to where it's obviously been replaced, like 4 times,
Mm,
just to try and make it like subtly obvious. Like, hey, look.
yeah.
I need a subtlety test. What would be a good one? We will go with
Still in Shadowrun.
what?
Palming.
I'll take palming or I'll take
Or-
stealth
Okay.
or sneaking. Sorry, I was going 6-side again too.
As I see Atlas make a move as well, I'll adjust my positioning. And just to prepare, I'm gonna cast increased reflexes.
Okay.
I have 4 successes on that sneaking test.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to notice. He's staring kind of intently at.
So Whipper will take the hint and say, "Well, listen, I could use some ammunition from my old Colt at a significant market, if you understand what I mean. If you can reach that information, I mean, what is 50 rounds of ball ammo go for these days? At like 20 million per bullet."
You see, you can see he perceptibly, you can see him sort of his right arm relaxes a bit. The right hand is still up on the counter. He's like, yeah, that sounds about right. It's the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, go back in the back. Text me that information about the good stuff, and bring me back a box, and 20 new yen around sounds pretty good to me.
And so yeah, he's like, yeah, I will go get that for you. And you're specifically like, and so from as at the meta level, because we have to go back in time for me to remember this, you were looking at understanding the whether he was telling the truth or not, or what he was hiding.
Yeah, we knew he was hiding something. We just didn't know what. So
he's like, I don't want this to be awkward. And so he's like, let me go in the back. I'll grab the bullets and I will come back out. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
And so when he heads around back, that is when we'll have you roll for initiative, but that makes a great time to pause and take a 10-minute break.
Oh,
Bugger
awesome.
that.
Okay.
Oh, well, so much for subtlety. Whipper's not the type of character for subtlety anyway, so just put y'all on, and I'll see y'all in 10.
Awesome.
See you in 10.
See you soon.
All right, we will be right back.